Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew and I'm a 6th generation vegetable farmer. Over the entirety of 2022, we had many amazing things happen here on the farm. So many things that it wouldn't be fair for me to just keep it to myself. So I hope all of you enjoy our amazing 2022 from planting to harvest. And just a quick reminder, don't forget, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We can grow a lot of things on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Now when we're pushing these down, because we'll take an empty tray and we'll make little divots for the seeds to fall into, we don't want to push too deep because we don't want to have our seeds to have to push through so much soil to be able to sprout. Oh, hey, what's up? Now you're probably wondering, Veggie Boys, what are you going to be seeding today? Well, it looks like we have some broccoli seed here, we have some cabbage, there's all different types of cabbage, we have kale, kohlrabi, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, celery. So we're getting a lot of cole crops planted. If you've ever had to plant seeds before, using this thing just is so nice.
I don't know where you're going to film guys.
I'll figure something out.
Man, that Daniel does a pretty good job. He did not miss a single one there. Wow. So as you guys can see, Daniel, he is seeding. Matthew is over here working on labels and tags. And then I'm filling up the trays. So not only are we planting cole crops, we're actually doing some peppers as well. Daniel just planted some jalapenos and we also did some hot cherry peppers. Dad and I just were in the old store. We have some seeds stored in there. And what we've got loaded onto the four-wheeler right now is 3 different types of pea seed. We have got snow peas, shell peas, and sugar snap peas. And the plan today, hopefully, is to get some of these peas planted. So while Dad and I have been here back at the home farm taking care of the animals, getting the chores done, Daniel has actually been out and preparing ground to plant today. Dad and I just got out to the field, so we're gonna get started planting. Now for those that have been on the channel for a while, you'll know kind of what this machine is. It's not all put together yet. But for those that don't know, this is just a 2-row corn planter. Now the fact that it's a 2-row corn planter, that's kind of cool, but there's something that makes it a lot cooler. Now a lot of people like to ask how this stuff gets its water, and I've explained it already, but you can see the condensation building up in there. We just got everything planted today that we wanted to get accomplished. And we're really happy with this. What do you think, Dad?
What I'm thinking, this farming method feels like cheating.
What? Why does it feel like cheating to you?
When you plant sweet corn out in the field, you need at least 50 degrees soil temperature for the sweet corn to germinate and start to grow. Well, as you can notice here, we laid the plastic over top, and you see the moisture forming already on the plastic, so it's heating up in there like a greenhouse. And so it warms the soil temperature up faster and it starts growing quicker.
You're saying this is cheating because we can plant much sooner than we normally would be able to.
That's true. We're planting, normally we'd be planting in about 30 days.
Look at those cucumbers and pickling cucumbers and zucchini. Time's flying. What do you think? You're shocked at how big all the vegetable plants are, aren't you? Oh, a beefsteak tag? A tag? We've got 1.5 wagons of cole crops that we're gonna be putting in the ground today. Now, many of you have seen us use this machine and know what it is. But for those of you that don't, this is called a finger transplanter. And this is what we use to plant our cole crops. Now, this machine can be adjusted to plant a multitude of things. You can plant tomatoes, peppers, onions, strawberries, whatever you want. However, we're gonna specifically be using it for cole crops today. And the first thing we do with a piece of equipment like this when we get it out for the first time of the year is grease everything and go over it to make sure everything is working correctly. So 2 things are going on right now. I'm trying to put a replacement seat on because someone broke it. Surprisingly, it wasn't me. And Dad is working on the spacing. There are all little types of gears in there that you can adjust to make the plants closer together or farther apart. So he's setting it up for the perfect distance for the cole crops.
I want you guys to know, Andrew goes through great lengths to get you those beautiful camera angles.
So we have got all of our cauliflower planted, we've got all of our broccoli planted, basically all of our cole crops are done, except, did you just eat that cabbage? Except for our cabbage, which is what we're planting now. We had really nice germination rates with our eggplant. You can see nearly every cell has a plant in it, which is what we like to see. Our black, our Italian, our white and striped eggplant all look good. And here is our dill that we seeded into our 98 cell trays. That looks really good. Shoveling and all that stuff. I'll be happy to. And there we have it. We have our first laying of mulch completed for the year. Now we have gone over a few reasons why we like this mulch. Probably one of the biggest reasons is that it helps the plants out a lot. I can already feel how warm it's getting. It's soaking up a lot of the sun's energy and it heats this bed. And when this bed gets heated and we go through with the water wheel transplanter, it helps those plants get acclimated to the soil. They're used to a warmer greenhouse, and then when you put them in the soil is usually a little colder. But by using this black mulch, it helps out a lot. Right now, Joel and Daniel are working on a variety called Iberia. It is a long hot pepper. We're gonna be finishing off our hot pepper varieties today and moving on to our sweet peppers. And we're gonna try and get finished with planting the peppers today. We're not sure if it's gonna happen. Hopefully the rain will hold off this afternoon. All done with spreading fertilizer for the day. I cleaned off the fertilizer spreader and then I got it unhooked. Then I got hooked up to our cultivator. I've been looking at the cole crops and there's weeds starting to come up in there, so we need to get those taken care of. And we also need to cultivate the peas. This right here is our 2-row cultivator that we use, and it works really, really well. And I'm gonna go and cultivate all those crops. Cultivating is a very important job. We're working on 2 things here. We're 1, trying to loosen up the soil, give the plants a better opportunity to grow, and 2, we're trying to break up all of those little weeds that are growing. And while this style of cultivating may not be the most exciting, it is very, very important for what we do on the farm. Now this may not be everybody's favorite job because you have to go slow and you have to watch things very carefully. But I enjoy this job, even though it's not the most exciting and it takes a lot of paying attention. I enjoy seeing what the end result is. No weeds and a better crop. Gavin and I have made it out to the cornfield, and as you can see, we've got some really nice rows coming up. Some of our sweet corn is getting a nice size to it. With this planting method, a big contributor to breaking this mulch apart is sunlight, which is something we don't always have here in Northeast Pennsylvania. For example, a day like today, it's very cloudy, not too much sunshine out here. And with this type of mulch, the sunshine is the #1 contributor to breaking it apart. Now, as you know, this mulch is a biodegradable mulch that starts to break apart very quickly, which is why it's very effective to use it in this style of planting. And this is a really good opportunity for me to show you guys how this stuff gets watered essentially. That was a big question. Now, the best way for me to explain this to you is after we go through and plant the sweet corn and lay the mulch, when the sun comes out, it starts to evaporate the moisture out of the ground. Now, it can't go up into the atmosphere. It stops right here with our mulch. And what that does is, as we've mentioned before, creates a greenhouse effect that traps all the moisture inside the mulch. My little girl was outside riding on her horsey, so I came up to say hello. How's things going? Things are going Now, the plan originally today was if it didn't rain, we were going to come out and cultivate these crops again. However, the fields are a little on the wet side, so we don't feel comfortable bringing the equipment out into it. But from what we can see, these plants really enjoyed that rain they got. And something I'm enjoying is that we're starting to see some blossoms on the plant. Now, that brings us to our next spot where our first planting of tomatoes are. From the time that we planted them, they seem to have rooted really well, and they're starting to grow about 8 inches out of the soil. The cabbage, the cauliflower, the broccoli, it just all looks so good. We've been very fortunate that we've had the water and the moisture that we've had. We've gone through with the cultivator early on, that way we don't have to worry about weeds. As I mentioned, we wanted to go through with the cultivator today just to keep those weeds at bay, but unfortunately we're unable to. Now, as everybody knows, the vegetables have been looking really nice for quite some time. However, we don't want our vegetables to just look nice, we want to harvest them. And this is an exciting time because the first vegetable we're going to harvest with you guys is peas. Yeah, we're all excited. I'm not gonna lie, even though I don't like peas, I'm pretty excited to start picking. Let's see what we can find here. We're going to start off by harvesting shell peas. Now, some of them are a little on the young side yet, so we have to be selective. But, as you can see, there are many nice pods here. I have a lot of skinny ones. Yeah, I have a lot of skinny ones. As we're harvesting the pickling cucumbers, there will be many different sizes, and there are some things we have to keep mindful of. If we look at these 2 cucumbers right here, they're just about ready to be harvested, but they're a little too small. So what we're gonna end up doing is waiting for these to ripen up, so that the next time we come through, these will be ready to harvest. But not only will these 2 be ready to harvest, this cucumber here will be ready. Move over here, this cucumber here will be ready. And then if we look a little further, we can see this cucumber will most likely be ready. That's just a little one. And then this cucumber right here will most likely be ready. It is going to be getting very hot, so we're gonna need to start irrigating here shortly. The tomatoes look great. Everything along here looks wonderful. The boys are finishing off the last of the pickling cucumbers. Now for today, we've got all of our cucumbers and our pickling cucumbers harvested. And then one final thing I want to show you, because we were harvesting pickling cucumbers, all of this right along here is dill. So what we're going to end up doing is bunching it like this, cutting it, and then taking it back to the farm market and selling it. Oh.
Kohlrabi. That's what we're doing next.
Do you want me to pull them for you, Dad? You can just clip them, or do you think it's easier for you to just go as we go?
No, that would be easier for me.
Bubba! What's up, bud?
Careful with that knife.
Beautiful broccoli.
Not the bottom. See, the bottom one's got yellow on it. So
Okay,
just
I
take
see
out.
it.
Just take right out of the middle.
I fell right in the mud.
There's only 4 of them. That was the part that was funny.
Beautiful ears. Yeah, oh, the corn? That's what we're talking about? Almost got eaten by the corn monster, Matt.
Daniel, you're in the wrong field. Over here's the cucumbers. Who else here loves chicken wings?
I picked off like 5 different plants and I got a full basket. Check it out. Now these peppers I'm harvesting right now are one of our most popular here at the farm market. Now this year they seem to be doing really well, which is surprising. We've had trouble with them in the past, but from what I'm seeing, and if we can keep the plants looking like this, these peppers are gonna stay healthy for a very long time. And when peppers stay healthy for a very long time, that means we get to harvest for a very long time.
He's like so excited. They watch you.
Get on there. The type of tomatoes we raise are determinate tomatoes, which basically all the fruit ripens at one time. Due to our weather in northeast Pennsylvania, this is the best way for us to get the longest and best yields by using determinate variety tomatoes.
Andrew, what would the tomato dance even be?
I don't think we have it. Oh. What did you do that for?
Okay.
Plants don't want to give them up.
You really want a good pepper, Petey? You gotta try a Pusa Jawala. You'll really regret that decision.
I can't believe the Pusa Jawala story comes up every time we pick up.
Weird name set me
They are. Pusa Jawala is the property. I used to.
Should be enough room on top there. Who picked this one? Nice colored peppers, don't want those though. Just looking for the green. Out of everything on the farm, this cabbage is probably enjoying all this wet weather the most.
Guys, you better get up here. Let's go.
I think there's broccoli up there. Let's go.
We need more baskets. Yes.
I need baskets.
We need baskets!
What?
Hey, Dad.
What?
This is a pretty nice cabbage.
I raised it. I know.
Can you really blame anybody for being excited about picking peppers that look like this? I don't think you can. I can't get over how nice these peppers look. They're gorgeous. Say wee! Look beautiful. Now pulling red beets is a lot easier when you have a crew like we do, because you just need one person going out through and pulling the red beets out of the soil, and then everybody else works on sorting them.
Ha! I dropped a beet.
He doesn't even know what a beet is.
Oh, Joel, I dropped the beet.
No one cares, Andy.
Oh my word, that is a lot of red.
Truck's beautiful. Load looks good too.
Now, as the beans come up the conveyor and then drop down into our baskets or our bin that we are filling, Matthew and Joel have a very important job sorting out all of the debris and other things that we don't want in our beans. Now, there is a disease called rust that the beans can get when there's a lot of moisture, and rust is exactly what you think it is. The beans turn a brown, rusty color. It does affect the flavor of the beans, so we can't keep them, but that's something we have to look for. And if there's any rocks or dirt, we also try and pick that stuff out too.
All right, we got the green beans, we got the yellow beans, we got the Italian flat beans. All right, I guess we're back to picking. Brian, what's wrong?
Daniel hit me with a cherry pepper and it was hard. I can't breathe.
Oh my goodness. It was a celebratory throw because we finished picking habaneros. I can't imagine. Oh my word.
Smiling now?
Now it's full.
Now, if you remember from when we were planting cauliflower, we talked about two different types of cauliflower that we plant. One variety is a self-wrapping cauliflower, and this is what we're harvesting right now. You can see how tightly the leaves are wound on the cauliflower. When I peel them off, you can see we get that beautiful white color, which is what we love to see on cauliflower. Now, as we're going down through the field, the varieties of cauliflower are getting later and later in days. So this stuff is going to take a lot more days to get to maturity. We're not finding too many ripe ones yet, but that's because it's still growing. The cauliflower looks really nice. Now we're just waiting for heads. She almost lost the balance. Are we picking everything? Oh! Large heads. Oh! They're not as fast as that. Gotta watch both sides. Now, as we're harvesting cabbage today, there's a few things we have to keep in mind. One thing we really have to be careful about is that our knives do not slip out of our hand. As you can see from the footage in the background, it's raining really hard, the wind is blowing, and as we throw our cabbages to Joel, there is the chance that our knife could slip out of our hand. So we have to be very careful with that. Now, the average cabbage weighs 1 to 2 pounds if you were to look around. These cabbages weigh anywhere from 8 to 10 pounds. So we start to get really, really tired after harvesting a few hundred heads. It's like throwing a 10-pound dumbbell up to Joel every time we pick a cabbage. So that's something we also have to keep in mind. If we see one of our family members, just standing up and stretching their back or taking a little break, there's no need to yell at them and say, hey, get back to work. We're all very tired, and this is a lot of work, but we also enjoy doing this. And could you imagine having to do this by yourself? I mean, I could imagine, but wouldn't that be difficult? All right, I'm done working in the rain. Let's go home. Now, as you can see, there is Joel in the background. His job is a very important one. He is working on filling the wagon evenly, so he has to maintain a speed comparable with the harvester so that he can get the potatoes in the right sections of the wagon that we want to fill. Now, we did get a little extra help later on. Daniel got finished windrowing, and he helped out Gavin, which it can be a little difficult on the potato side if there is a lot of rocks and dirt coming up. It doesn't happen too often, but as we've mentioned, we had a lot of material coming up, which makes us happy. All these potatoes going into that wagon really brought a smile to all of our faces.
Holy cow.
Wasn't that something? I can't believe 2022 is already over. I had so many amazing things happen in my life. It feels like the year just flew by. And this is my opportunity to say thank you to everybody that has been subscribed and watched my videos through 2022. You've given my family and I a special privilege to have our eyes open, to learn more about other people, and to have an opportunity to teach and share all about our lives. So thank you everyone for being a part of our amazing 2022. And I can't wait for you to be a part of our next year. So that means this is where we're gonna be ending our video today. I would like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.